Okay, I've got time for one more, and I think you're holding the mic over there, so it's your call.
Thank you. It's been very refreshing, Michael. This session has been fantastic because I think what we've been able to do is go up to a higher level and survey, the wider horizons of all this, which has been very refreshing. I just think what I wanted to say is that it strikes me from what you've been saying this morning that we face some fundamental challenges at the moment in the way that we construct a number of areas of activity that are related. I think in the arts themselves, well, I think all of these things, there is a balance, or maybe I could call it a creative tension between specialism and interconnectedness. I think I picked that up from what you were saying today in terms of education, the way that the curriculum is constructed, to what extent we go down very specialist paths in the 21st century when there are so many specialist paths. And they're so interconnected and people don't want to necessarily follow those specialist paths. I think that's a major challenge for education. I think for the arts it's a major challenge in terms of most of us are connected to one discipline or another or maybe several disciplines, but it's quite difficult to express that you've been connected to the arts, and the disciplines are secondary to that connection with the arts as a whole. So that's about how we organise ourselves and as well as making work. And for funding agencies such as my own, the Arts Council, or for the Commission, it seems to me it's a challenge, because if the strategies and funding programmes that we develop are trying to focus on specialism and separateness rather than interconnectedness, are we actually meeting future needs, or are we harking back to something that was in the past? And I think that relates to Anthony's point about tax breaks. So I think there's some major challenges and creative tensions here between what I would call specialism and interconnectedness. And we can't lose specialism. It's absolutely critical. You talked about skills and so on. It's absolutely critical. On the other hand, we can't keep piling more and more specialisms onto the curriculum or onto our funding programs and think we can have any kind of coherent strategy overall. So it's somehow we've got to go back to some fundamentals of how things join up and focus on that. And then the specialisms become the opportunities that emerge from that, rather than feeling every specialism needs its proper place, its allotted slot within a curricula, within an artistic program, or within a funding set of funding programs.
I'd love to make just a really fast comment on there, just a really quick one. I think your point about the specialisation and its breadth and depth is the issue. Can you have breadth and depth at the same time, or what's the relationship between the two? And you're absolutely right. I mean, if you look at the European model, as I was saying, from say the American model, where you have the 4-year liberal arts off-the-shelf module type of thing, so you could be doing anything from basketball to philosophy or whatever. Now, maybe that's the other side of a spectrum, or maybe there is something actually in the middle. And, but I think you're talking about undergraduate university education. I think that's the key. That seems to be the key. And somehow or other, if a greater breadth can be reintroduced into that, rather than hitting the ground running on the first day and you're straight into medicine, or you're straight into music, or you're straight into economics, so there's a bigger chance that at least through the first two of, let's say 4 years, let's imagine it's a 4-year program, that at least the first 2 years will bring you radically outside of your supposed interests, and in that way begin to break down the kind of specialisation obsession that has beset us.